Hey guys, it's Katie Fox. I just kind of thought about telling some ghost stories that I have. So if you don't believe in that stuff, then vamoose. Uh, I do, I think to some degree, and only due to my experiences. So I thought since I'm getting the mood for Halloween Hauntathon and because I'm playing Until Dawn and stuff like that, that I would share just a few of my experiences with you. Uh, so yeah, when I was little, I always had a really hard time sleeping in my room. My room was just very odd, very creepy. Like one time, as cliche as it gets, like a old wooden rocking chair rocked by itself, and my closet door opened by itself at night, and sometimes when you took pictures in there, there would just be like white formations, mostly blocking out the faces of the individuals. I still have that picture somewhere if I ever need proof. And also I had lots of things happening to me at night to the point where I was terrified of sleeping in my room. I slept on the floor outside my room in the hallway because it's for some reason had a different feeling to it, and because my brother's room was like right across from where I was and my parents were right behind me, so I felt like more safe. Um, so one of the most vivid memories I have when I was a child was I was sleeping one night or trying to sleep, and I opened my eyes and this little boy walked towards me. I remember him clear as day. He was dressed from a different time, like maybe the 60s or 70s. He was wearing like a striped orange t-shirt and jeans, and he was just holding a box, and I didn't really understand what that had to do with me at all. He didn't say anything, he just kept walking closer and closer and closer to the foot of my bed. And by this time, because I had so many experiences, I would close my eyes and say, like, go away, go away, go away, and then they would go. So I did that. He did not initially go away the first time. I had to do it a second time, and then he disappeared just moments before he reached the end of my bed. So that was creepy. And also just in that house as well, there were lots of strange like shadows, kind of like on one of we had a staircase, and the staircase was just a wall, kind of leading up to it. And there were always kind of weird shadows that would happen there that I could see, but yeah, and when you went downstairs, it sounded like chairs were moving upstairs. And when you would go upstairs, sometimes they would be in different positions, sometimes not, but it would have the sound of like a chair dragging on the floor. So those are some of my first experiences, I suppose, with weird events. And I could blame that on just being a kid. Like, obviously, I don't know. I don't have complete proof. But it was very scary, and I was tormented for many years. Uh, and yeah, it was definitely traumatizing for me. My dog's going crazy. And yeah, I just had a lot of. I've always been very in tune with the energy of rooms, and I'm not like a crystal energy person, but like it's kind of like the feeling when you walk into your room and someone has been fighting, and you can feel the tension and whatever, but I can feel kind of the like whether or not it feels safe or not, or like there's a presence there or an imprint there or whatever. So there were always things that I wanted to avoid, and even like furniture that I thought maybe I wanted to avoid because it was my grandparents who got it from their grandparents, so it was old. And sometimes those feelings or whatever they are can attach themselves to things. So I was super stoked that I finally got new furniture. I also had just random incidents of like of old people kind of walking towards me in bed when I was little as well, and so that was very strange. I I just recently we moved into this place. I had a feeling that the sunroom attached to our master bedroom was weird, that it had something weird going on, and something to do with dolls. And as it turns out, that was where not the people that were renting from, but the previous owner before them would sew clothing for her life-size dolls. And I hate dolls, so that was kind of a weird thing. Before that, I remember walking into a cemetery with my friends, being stupid 16-year-olds that we were. And my one friend was ahead of us taking photos, and I was with another friend, and we were walking around, and it just kind of felt like we were being touched, which is odd because cemeteries are scary, but they're usually very calm. So that felt weird, and then my friend flashed the camera, and what I saw was a girl who was about 12 and a girl who was about 8 or 9, holding hands in kind of old-fashioned clothing, walking from the the old children's cemetery. And I could not believe it. So I turned to my friend who apparently also saw it, and all I said was, "Did you see that?" And she was like, "The two girls?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And we got the hell out of there. So I was careful that time to make sure that I wasn't planting ideas into her head, and that we both legitimately saw the same thing. So that was really scary. That was the end of my cemetery career. I have experienced some weird things with Ouija boards as well, and my parents have had experiences that they've told me about, but I won't even bother getting into those. I don't believe in them, and I try to be as respectful as possible when it comes to those things. And I guess most recently, the closest that I've ever come to something paranormal was I was sleeping in bed with my fiance, and I had something whisper in my ear, Jordan, his name, and I was like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. He's sleeping. It's on the other side. Like, what's going on? I don't get it. Am I dreaming? And then it happened again. And then I felt like a wash of emotions come over me, which made me feel regret, pain, disappointment, pride, and peace. And the feeling that they were sorry. And maybe that comes more in like a physical medium kind of thing. Like, I'm not sure, but that's that kind of emotion, that dread, and that I see that you're alright, but I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. That was kind of the feeling. And I also felt when I left the room after that to go to the kitchen to get some water, this male presence. It felt like kind of overpowering, so I didn't feel female, I guess, per se. And I've never felt that way before in the house. The very next day, we found out that his father had passed away. His father that he had not been in contact with for much of his life, for about 12 years. And obviously I had no way of knowing that the night before, and I just thought that maybe I was crazy or something like that. But I do have a tendency to feel something when someone that I love is hurt, like I have a little inkling that something is wrong. So I had that feeling. And he was upset because obviously he didn't get to know him, and it was then my job to say, look, something whispered into my ear your name twice, and this is what I got from it. It felt like it was a male, and I think it was your dad. Which is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, just because it sounds so far-fetched. But also because you never really know if that's going to hurt or help in that type of situation. So that presence kind of lingered for a little while. I think that more than likely he was trying to get in contact with Jordan, but because he's closed to the idea, because he doesn't really respect his father for what he did, that he wasn't open to hearing him out, I guess. So it was said to me instead. And so that lately has been the closest that I've come to it. I've also been to like abandoned sanatoriums and psych wards and stuff, but nothing has ever really happened there. Nothing scary. Usually, it's just a feeling of peace or sadness or dread, but nothing, frightening. So yeah, my most recent experience was that I was with his father a few months ago, and that was a very strange experience for me just because that's never happened before. And it was a very strange experience for me because it was a very hard topic to bring up. Without sounding crazy, he did find some solace in it, but yeah. That's the beginning of my ghost stories. I have a lot more. If you want to hear more, then let me know in the comments down below. Please don't comment that I'm crazy, because I know that I'm not, and I think that there are lots of things that cannot be explained. But you have every right to your belief, as I do to mine, so just respect that. But if you want to hear more, let me know in the comments down below, and please let me know if you've ever had any weird experiences yourself. I'd love to hear from you guys, so yeah, please do that. Thank you so much for watching, and get totally psyched for Halloween Hauntathon, and some more until dawn. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.